I'm live on the internet. No way. Ooh, everyone beat me in today. Hey guys, hopefully you can all hear me okay. My phone would like me to know I've gone live. Hey Ashton, Asa, Jan. Did I miss anybody? Nope. Okay, I got everybody. Whew. It's a Sunday. I'm awake. Okay. Summer heat returned this week. I knew last week was a false fall, and yet I had hopes. So I'm back to dealing with heat issues. We all love heat issues. I'm still blowing my nose, but that is a lot because it's now everyone's decided to try to, you know, have more pollen for whatever reason instead of to continue to go into slumber mode. Me and my hair. Almost microphone. Nothing but grief. I used to leave the cover off so I could catch like that glint of gold at the bottom of my eye, but I put the cover on. Hey, Aaron. So we've got a podcast. We're going to try to get through it as best we can. I was looking at the YouTube video for the Talia vest for the October vest along. I'm actually going to adjust my microphone here, guys. It's too close to me. I need some personal space. So I took a look. I took a look at all the votes, and we had a vote for brown, and I agree. I look really good in chocolate brown. We had a vote for gray. I know the moderator voted for gray, and my mom voted for gray. So we're going to be doing the gray version of the Talia vest, and for all of you guys, for your memory purposes, because I don't remember everything I watch from week to week. I certainly don't expect you guys to. Jude, my love. I will take your fall. I will take your fall. Both me and Aaron of Fireweed Fiber Co. would love less than 26 degrees heat with 70% plus humidity. Would bring us great joy, as it is now the middle of September-ish. It'd be really freaking nice. But what the temperature was 5 years ago and 10 years ago is not what the temperature is going to do now, and it's because of, well, scientists want us to call it a climate crisis. They're probably accurate. Most of us still call it a climate change, and we got here on our own. So, I don't know what to tell all of us. We did this to ourselves, unfortunately. The Gray Yard has won. Ooh, it's gray. Gray. Jen, you could not pay me to live in rural Manitoba. You could not pay me to live in rural Manitoba. I give props and kudos to every human being who is comfortable with the rural life. The second largest city in this province just about did me in how small it was. I will never willingly choose to live in a city smaller than the one I'm currently living in, and I live in a small city. It's a small capital. I will never choose to live in somewhere smaller again. First off, they wouldn't have the services for a blind person. They just don't exist in any rural community anywhere. You have to live in city centers if you want something close to timely service. And the infrastructure set up for it. And the second one is just, it doesn't suit my lifestyle. I also can't drive. Like, I physically could not go anywhere. And I remember small town and rural Manitoba when I was growing up. You needed a car to get around. It was not even remotely set up to be pedestrian friendly. So, unfortunately, we had a wonderful week the week before where we had nice fall weather, which was a lie. I know it's a lie. We don't truly get to stable fall weather till October anymore. Haven't in the last half a decade or so. So, like, I know it's a lie, but boy, I got excited last week when we had nice phones. Yeah. Yes, because you have no AC in your house, my dear, which makes it way too hot. So, I know, we will never get back to what we were when I was younger. Kids don't wear ski pants under Halloween costumes on the regular anymore. Snow that stays before the end of November, also really rare these days. So, like, I know what I'm in for, but boy, did I put that AC unit away, and boy, am I stuck with my box fan because I refused to pull that thing back out. And 19 degrees with 77% humidity is still sticky and gross. It's still sticky and gross. So we do get lower overnight, but with the humidex this high, it doesn't make a lick of difference, unfortunately. However, with the gray yard, being the Talia Vestian, we are definitely. I need to find the right wooden buttons or leather buttons. Do you want leather or wood? I'm going to take a look. It's either going to be leather buttons or wood buttons, whichever ones I find that I like the best. I can just hear the links coming at me now. And that's what I'm going to choose because the Talia vest is buttoned. So I'm going to take a look and see what I can find. And I do have a fiber festival in October that I'll be attending. It's the one in Regina in the teens. Uh-oh. I literally just sent the dates to my mom. Sometime after the 14th. The weekend of the teens in October. That weekend. That's the one. Oh my god. So worst case scenario, I will try to find buttons there. I'm terrible for leaving the booth when I'm helping Aaron. So like, hopefully I leave the booth to do it. Jude, sweet potatoes are tasty and amazing. And yeah, UK. Well, I mean, in a greenhouse, you might be able to fudge your growing cycle and crank your heat up a little bit. Because I know in Montreal, just outside of Montreal, there's a farming couple who managed to get one of their greenhouses hot enough and humid enough to grow ginger in Canada. And it's a tropical root. We don't generally grow that here. So like I know it's doable, but the work, it's kind of hard. Though I do agree, sweet potatoes are very tasty, and I enjoy that I can eat them. It's always kind of nice, though not very often because my god, they're expensive for a root vegetable. It's crazy, and colossal. I don't understand why they have to be that big. Yeah, you'd have to go greenhouse then, Jude, so that you could have them up and in a warm space. Which, or what's that thing where you can build like a little glass house, like a cold, or is it a cold box for fruits? Or anyway, there's some sort of gardening trick a lot of gardeners and small farmers will use here, like people who just grow really large gardens, called cold boxes, or just like little glass houses they put over top of some crops that need to have heat faster or stay cool longer. There's two ways to do it depending on how you want to do it, and that helps with the growing seasons up here. But I don't know enough. I grow things in pots inside an apartment. I don't grow sweet potatoes. I have no land to grow things on. So I don't know if that would help extend your season any or not. Do I listen to a podcast about nothing but growing plants? Yes. But it's specifically for this like it's one of the local city, just outside the city, growers for the green. No, what are those places where you can go buy plants? That place, specifically one of those places, all he sells is plants. What he does is plants. This podcast is about plants. I enjoy learning things about it, but I don't. I have no idea. I do know you can. I do know greenhouses help a lot with extending the growing season, but I don't know like the time investment, where it might fit. Like there's so many questions above and beyond that. Do I watch people make greenhouses out of old windows because it's fun to watch the DIY aspect? Yes, I do. Oh yeah. Would I have a garden? No, that would require me to have a house. And I refuse to own one of those beefy bastards again unless I'm married. Maybe plant nursery? I'm sure they've got a name, and I'm sure I'm not remembering it. So we've got the Talia Vesticast on this week. I fully read the Fab cardigan, so the fluffy ass brioche cardigan instructions. I had skimmed them before to do the gauge swatch, so I actually sat down and read them this week. figured out what size I needed to make because it is a loose fitting raglan. So there is built in positive ease that I don't want that much of. I don't want 20 centimeters of positive ease. That's too baggy for my body type and my body frame. So I did a little Maya thing. I used a little bit of calculator magic, and then I decided what size I needed to make so that my finished product, based on my gauge swatch, was going to be just that 1 inch of positive ease instead of like closer to 20 inches of positive ease. Because what 20 centimeters is what 10 to 12 inches of positive ease. I'm absolutely guessing at this point 10 20. I'd have to really pull my tape measure. I pull my tape measure and I flip back and forth to do the conversions because I cannot do it in my head. I understand I was raised on metric. We use imperial here for measurements. I don't know why, we just do. So that's what I'm used to. So I have my size. My gauge swatch is done. And then I looked at the cast on instructions and played Stardew Valley instead yesterday. So I did not cast on yesterday like I should have. Oops. Is it called a cold frame, Lisa? Is that what it is? I know it helps extend the growing season, and I know it's super helpful if you want to grow things that are maybe like one climate zone uh, warmer than yours. So it just helps you grow things, and it helps you grow things in your own climate zone that are also really, you know, persnickety about their growing cycle. And again, I'm never one not to say all hail the potato that domesticated us humans quite well. It did a very good job of it. We're very proud. Our overlord and master. Is it called a cold frame? Cold frame, cold box. There's got to be more than one term for it. My cat is now on my foot. It's fascinating to how it helps things. I don't fully understand how it works because it's not something I practically use. So all my knowledge is theoretical and based off a podcast. So take it with a grain of salt. I forgot to show last week that Aaron did in fact come to the rescue again because I left a sock on the, coffee table with a smaller sock ball of yarn with a cat because I'm a genius. She, in fact, picked up the one stitch in the edging that Phaedra had pulled off the needles, and now I have socks. I also have a free sock needle. So you know what that means? I'm going to cast on some socks. Where am I going to stick this sock needle? I don't know. Microphone, have a sock needle. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? So we have two sockies. So we're going to finish a pair of socks. I got long ends. Will I weave them in? I don't know. Maybe not. We'll find out. This is Raspberry Orange Shirt, which is a colorway from Erin of Fireweed Fiber Co. Am I inside out or right side out? I don't even know what my stitches are facing. Right side out on this sock. So we're done. We have a first pair of fall socks, which I think makes what, my second or third completed pair for the year? That's a lot of socks in a year for me. One has been on a blocker, one has not been on a blocker. Can you tell? They will get washed and blocked today, so that way they can sit on the sock blockers for like 17 million years, drying in this heat and humidity. That's okay. Oh, I know what I forgot to grab before I went live. I'm going to have to stand up and grab a thing, guys, because it's the other finished object this week. The socks don't really count. They were done. I just needed rescue. And that to show you the skill differential between me and Aaron. Aaron fixed this in the back seat of a car going to the Manitoba Fiber Festival. No, driving home from the festival. Where were we when we fixed these socks? We were in the car. We were going to the Forks. That's what we were doing. We were somewhere in the car and she wasn't driving, so we had Tristan, but I forgot where we were going. Hey, Susanna. Hey, listen. The important thing is that you slept, Susanna. Who's on the way to the Forks? Okay. My brain is not remembering a darn thing correctly. Let's put away this gray yarn before it attacks me. We'll put it in the bag. And we will toss over there. I am going to have to gauge swatch for the Talia vest because that is a DK weight yarn, and the Talia vest is done on a worsted weight yarn. But if we're honest, we know I'm not going to wear a worsted weight vest. So I needs to do the mathies. It's over there. I don't think I can reach there with my wired headphones. Uh-oh. Guys, I gotta take my headphones off for something. Be very gentle. Talk amongst yourself. I gotta grab another finish up there. I left it hanging on the door. Oh, it's still damp. Oh, good. Headphones? See, this teal color, very handy. Because I was able to find my headphones real quick. That was nice. All right. The other thing I finished this week because I was like, oh God, I've got so many cast ons coming up. I finally pulled apart the one strap in the katana kerchief top that I've been working on, and I finished it, and then I washed it, and then I blocked it, and then I hung it because it's still freaking wet. It's kind of damp at the bottom. But we have a finished tank top. It's done. It's very drapey. I see why she calls for you to do it in cotton, right? Because just cotton keeps no shape whatsoever, and this just drapes like a crazy person. The next step is to put it on an Aran because I thought it was going to be a bit snug on me. I was working with some restricted yardage requirements. I didn't have enough cotton in a color that I would wear in the house to do the size for me, so I did the next size down. And while it is snug on me, so like I need to go the next size up, which I thought might happen, I think it'll fit Erin great. Obviously, you wear something underneath it because there's a lot of holes going on. But super fascinating construction. It was a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. And I really don't, other than the one set of picture instructions for assembly, the rest of it is totally accessible. And it's a bit of a weird construction, so I'm not sure how she would have explained it without a photo. So I understand why we needed to use the photo tutorial, but we have an FO. The ends are not woven in. I'm not that good. I'm not that good. Why is it on a hanger? Because it was hanging, and it'll go back to being hung here in a hot second. But I did get that done this week. And boy, I ended up cutting the yarn on that one strap that was messed up and pulling it all out and doing that strap again. It was so foobar. But I did get it correct the second time. So, Susanna, my love, get yourself something to drink and something to eat. I'm drinking lemonade. I'm going to make something to eat when we're done. So, there's that. However, as far as crafting goes, it leaves me with not a ton to show because I finished the strap and the edging, which it was just one armpit edging and one edging around the neckline to do. The sock got done. The only other really I did make more work on my granny squares. Don't worry, we'll talk about granny squares here in a hot second. It will happen. I did decide that enough is enough. I've been putting off the lace panel of the mallow cardigan because my brain hasn't been in a place to pick up and do that big of a row of lace. So I decided to set it aside. So I transferred the needle that the back panel was on and I put a holder needle on it. Random sock needle that I had. It's just holding the stitches for me. And I cast it on the first front panel. This is going to curl like crazy because it's stockinette. But I've got the first front panel done. I both love and hate stockinette flat because it curls so badly. This will be uncurled once it's sewn to its back panel and it's got the front edging attached to it. But for now, we curl like a crazy person, which is just bonkers. I did put 2 inches of a garter. Then on the mallow is a free pattern by Barocco, so we can talk about this a bit more in depth. The garter at the bottom here is me. I added the garter at the bottom. It is not a part of the pattern. I did it because I hate a rolled hem on the bottom of things because it doesn't stop. It just keeps rolling. And the whole knit a row or purl one random row and to make a little ridge doesn't do a thing. It doesn't do a thing. It does bump kiss. So I added 2 inches of garter to make a really pretty garter hem border. The button band will also be in garter, and it'll be a non-button button band. It's a peculiar speciality of mine. Mostly because I I prefer my mallow not buttoned. I think it looks much better as an unbuttoned, free-flowing cardigan than as a button cardigan. So that's what I'm going to do. But we do have a front panel, which makes me happy. It does. Like, the garter turned out really good. So the stockinette's going to curl like crazy, but this is a big, essentially, till I attach it to something, swatch of I'd Like a Fresh Bowl, which is a yarn colorway from Erin of Fiery Farmer Co. This is for Erin. It is for her to have for her booth. This sweater attempted to be, or this yarn attempted to be the field sweater 4 times before I gave up, and since it's not enough contrast between the needle and the yarn color for me to do the very fancy wheat stitch. Don't worry, that field sweater, hello motorcycle, will be tackled, and I will win. I'm just not doing it right now. Nor do I think I have the space. It's really hard to knit for sweaters, guys. It's freaking, like, it feels like 30 degrees. It feels like 30 degrees. I don't want to be working on sweaters right now. I really don't. I am because it's fall and that's the time of year we're in, but it doesn't feel like it at all. All right, there you go. Purl side out because it just stores a bit flatter that way. I'm using a 5mm needle to get gauge. I know that's not what the pattern calls for, but that's what happens when you knit as tight as I do. I do need to cast on the second front panel and get that done hopefully this week. Now that I have an exact panel to go by for length, I know how far I'm knitting. I'm not checking all the time, which, you know, is a problem. I do need to wind the next ball of yarn because I'm gonna need it. So I've got to start with some yarn winding here once we're done podcasting today, which is fine. I got to wind a couple of skeins of the gray to get the Talia sweater started. I actually have to cast on my fab cardigan. I really need to cast that on. We're halfway through the month, and I only have till the end of the month to get it done. And I know it's a bulky sweater, but we're getting to the point where I need to get going. It would be fine and stabilize it a bit more, but the pattern doesn't call for it, and I'm fine because I know that curl goes away. Like if it was the edge was left raw like that, then I would do some sort of stabilizing stitch. But none of those edges are visible outside the garter hem at the bottom. One side is going to be sewn to the side seam and then become an arm seam, and the other one is literally going to be attached to a front garter border. So like I could, but there is no point. It's all going to go away anyway. And once you have your neckline picked up, I want that curl to be triggering so that you have that nice seam line on the inside of your item. So I use it to tell what's ways inside and out, but I do like that nice little inside sort of seam line that you get from it. Could be because I'm coming from knitting as a sewing person, so that's what I'm looking for. However, I need to wind 2 more balls of I'd Like a Fresh Bowl. I need to wind a couple of balls of gray. Brings a little DK to do the Talia. And I certainly don't need to wind any yarn for the fab cardigan because I ripped a whole sweater out to have yarn for that project. And considering that I washed it and wore it, I also didn't wash and block my sample because there's no more give to that yarn. It is exactly what it's going to be. However, that does mean I have only the Granny Square project currently on the go. Everything else is at a start a new section phase. Which, well, good morning, Susanna's brain. My brain is rarely working, so I give kudos to yours for being functioning. So I don't know where I'm going to start, but I got to start with something. Probably winding yarn, because that is literally what's holding me up at this point. And then and it allows me to avoid the brioche cast on probably till Monday. And I'll start with that second front panel. You guys, it's hot. I don't like it. All right, let's talk granny squares. Can I reach the project? I don't know. Hello, microphone. Let's get nice and personal, shall we? I almost had another square done. Not quite as many rows as I need it to be. Or rounds? Yes, rounds. It's not rows, it's rounds. Not as quite as many rounds as I need it to be. The 2 colors I'm currently working with. Ooh, look, they're just random sock yarn colors. I'm perfectly comfortable with super random. Doesn't bother me. If everybody knows, I'm making a chunk of squares, marled squares, out of 2 strands of fingering held double. It's a classic granny square, so they're clusters of 2 double crochets with chain 2 corners. I'm making them 27 rounds big, and then I am making 8 or 9 of them, and I'm going to lay them out on my bed and see how many more I need to make to finish a bedspread. I've got 2 finished. This is my 3rd. I almost have 3 done. That's it. There's nothing else to it. This is just, I'm a little behind on podcasts. I'm a little behind on where I want for this to be. But I sit in the evening and I listen to podcasts or I listen to audiobooks and I crochet granny squares. When my brain is fried. There's no more space for anything of any intelligence in there whatsoever. I'm exceedingly pretty and we're just going to go with it, right? So I count to 3 and I listen to podcasts like Betwixt the Sheets and Gone Medieval and Plant Murder, and just enjoy myself. That's what I do. It's fine. Brings me joy. I usually do this sitting in bed with my cat, so she also likes to chase the balls of yarn. Sometimes impedes my progress. But until my hair's caught in this. But until I'm at the point where I'm assembling, it's just going to look like squares, guys. It's just going to look like a whole bunch of marled squares. Now, I'm still vacillating wildly on what color of solid I'm going to use between these marled squares. It's probably going to be a neutral to just help tie everything together. But my initial thought had been like a gray. Now as I'm starting to see the different marled patterns come together, I'm thinking maybe a beige. Like, do we need like a sandy kind of beige situation going on here? One could confuse it for a cream color. I don't know. I have opened up a whole new world of debate for myself because I'm not sure how this one is going to go. I need to finish the other squares, obviously, before I make any final decisions, because placement's also going to be a thing, since I'm obviously going to place them in slightly different locations than directly lined up next to the other one as I complete them. So we continue. The good news is this is absolutely eating through a bunch of my sock yarn scrap, which was the point of the project. Hey, look, I found my progress keeper for it. How many rows did I finish? Now I want to know. I did 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, 4 round, 5 round. I did 5.5 rounds this week. That's not too bad. When we get towards the end, when it's like 27 clusters per side on each round, it's closer to a podcast length by the time I get all the way around. It's not quite, it's about a little over halfway of a podcast. So my rows get long, which I'm used to because I am working on a larger size project. So I will continue to work on that. Why? Because about the time when I am done and I don't want it on my lap anymore, I'm at 27 rows and then I'm back to the start of a new square, which is much smaller, much nicer to do in this heat. Oh, I completely forgot. What is the Granny Square check-in this month? Is it next Sunday? Is it this? Is it today? Oh no, I think it's next. Oh, I'm gonna check my calendar. I don't remember. But that's it. That's all the stuff I worked on this week. I'm still a little buried in terrible adulting nonsense, which is not unusual. I started washing my windows and then I fell on my knee. So there's been no step stool. I've been pulling down my blinds window by window and washing them for the season. So that process has come to a startling halt because my knee is unhappy and it doesn't want to do stairs right now. Fair. Sunday after the 26th, so like the very, 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 very last Sunday. Okay. Thank you, Jude. I was like, oh man, do I have that coming? I mean, it's coming at some point this month, but I don't remember when. There was a kerfuffle at the start of this month. I had a personal thing come up, and then Louise has had some personal stuff come up. So we didn't do a check-in this month. We're just going to do mid-month motivation on Friday, which works great because between both of our busy schedules and lifing at us, it just didn't work, and that's fine. Mid-month motivations are always fun, so I'm excited to do that, and it's a bit of a break. And we'll pick up challenges again next month, I think. We'll find out. Oh, hey, Nikki, you made it in. You made it in. That's the important part. What else do I have? I don't think we have much else. I don't want to show off Fireweed Fabrico's monthly club yarn yet. We'll do that next week. Just in case there's people still on vacation or dealing with school who haven't had a chance to open up their yarn clubs, or they're waiting because something's gone wrong in the mail. We all know whenever I mail something, it's a problem. Apparently, it's not an issue to mail things to me. It's just the reverse where gremlins kick in. Totally fair. That's how things work. But do you guys have any fun stuff you're casting on? Trust me, I have a video about the Stephen West MCal because I'm going to do like a sort of cheerleading thing for that. I recorded videos for this week. I tried it out on the new system because I'm switching operating systems. So I'm leaving Windows and I'm going to Linux. I have everything set up on Linux, but I wanted to do some test recordings and stuff before I officially left the Windows ethos. I forgot to plug my microphone in correctly, so I recorded no sound. Cool beans! So I'm going to re-record a couple of videos. Actually, after podcasting, now that I know I have time, and get them out this week for everybody. So Stephen West released his colors for his MCal, and I'm so thoroughly delighted that that man is doing a musical themed sort of shawl. I cannot wait to see it. I'm stoked for it. I also know that I have come to terms, that I do talk about it in the video, with my vision loss and the additional time I need to deal with new techniques. So instead of doing the MCal, I'm going to knit along with everybody who's doing the MCal, but I'm going to be making the Brio Ripple Wrap. More brioche, essentially, is what it is. So I've got the yarn set aside, and we'll talk about it, and then I will do my swatch and get ready, because the cast on for that's, what, the 2nd of October, I think? Well, Jude, you broke your collarbone, babe. Like, it's... I remember when my sister did that in high school, and it was rough for her for a good long while she healed. Because that is not, like... It's an important bone. It's gonna be cranky for a good long while. Then you'll get to have your shoulder ache occasionally when it rains. Always a joy to know that you're a barometer for weather. I have body parts that ache just before it rains. It tells me that it's going to rain. So there is that. But I hope, and this is where you're going to know I'm a left-handed person. I hope you enjoy being in the left-handed world. In my frame of mind, it is the superior frame of world. I love being a left-handed human. It is difficult to switch and learn to be ambidextrous if you have a dominant hand situation. It's fair. I have the same problem because I use my cane in my left hand, so sometimes my left arm and all the bones in my left arm and my muscles will ache really bad, and I can't grasp, like I can't close my hand with any pressure or grasp. Mostly because my cane travels on the ground, so all of those sensations travel up your fingers. So it's sort of like using a jackhammer. Your hand goes numb after a while. It's fine. You just learn how to do things with your right hand first, not just necessarily with your dominant hand if you're left-handed. However, I believe in you, Jude. I know you can do it. Left-handed stuff is not that hard. You just got to make your brain figure out what it's doing. Hopefully your brain isn't as stubborn as your shoulder. You're not doing that? Well, I mean, it's like, what is it? It's 4 different 100-gram skeins, and they're semi-solids. And it's fingering weight yarn, so like sock yarn would count. You don't have to do the mohair dare parts. Like, you don't have to worry if you don't want to add mohair to it. You could just make as is. So, like, it should be stash-diveable. Should be stash-diveable. At a fingering weight yarn, like, even I have 4 skeins of semi-solid, solid fingering weight yarn floating around. Most of us do. Woo! Jen, go you! I mean, I probably would also be close to being done if I'd started on time. I did not start on time. I need to start today. I've never done brioche in anything other than a shawl, so I'm hesitant because I worry about it. Now I know I can. It doesn't make me less anxious about it. And I've read the instructions, and while my brain goes, yeah, that makes sense, my brain also goes, maybe. I need to get over myself. I need to get over myself and just put it on the needles. Put it on the needles and go. It's fine. My gauge swatch is good. My math is solid. I double checked. I always double check my math. I know it's the right size. I know it feels like the right number of stitches for a bulky weight sweater. It's not my first bulky weight sweater. It's that raglan increase that it's got me a little concerned because I've never done brioche in a raglan situation before. And I just need to remove myself from the process and get going. I know that's the only thing that's holding me back. Okay. Fourth or fifth dislocation for the year. Yeah, your shoulder joint's gonna be sore. No wonder you got such a long healing cycle. Whew. I'm left hand dominant. If left to my own devices, I will choose left. I catch and throw left handed. I golf left handed. I am left handed. You need me to do something right handed? Maybe. I can stir things. I can cook ambidextrously. I write like a kindergartner with my right hand, but I can do it if I have to do it. But I instinctively go left hand first for everything. It's a thing. I think it might, Aaron. I think I'm a little nervous about starting it and getting like 2/3 of the way down a yoke and fudging up bad enough that it bothers me. And we all know like little screw ups don't bother me. I want those personalized features in there because I've made it. I am not a machine, and I don't want perfect things. I want something that is you can be like, this looks great, and you also know that it was made by hand. It was made with love. Like I am not participating in fast fashion. I am a part of the slow fashion movement by the nature of being a knitter and someone who makes my own clothes. That is becoming a staple of who I am. So it's fine. That and it's like 30 degrees with the humidity. I don't want to put on a bulky weight sweater. I just don't want to cast it on a bulky. I am so far from thinking about sweaters. It's not even funny. And it's just the weather, right? It's a thing. Susanna, it still happens today in places around the world where left-handed people are forced to be right-handed. We are not as saint-like as we like to think we are. Yeah, it still happens today. It's not an uncommon thing to have biases against, and children are still taught that writing you write with your right hand, so your writing hand tells you which way is right, which has severely messed me up. I'm 42 because my writing hand is my left hand, so I actually have to stop and think for a hot second because I was told right is your writing hand. I have to remember for me, the right side is my non-writing hand, but it is not uncommon today for left-handed people to be forced into a right-handed situation. Now, are there barriers? Yeah, absolutely. I use scissors and they hurt my hands. Why? Because my scissors were not originally purchased for me, so they were not left-handed scissors. They are right-handed scissors. They are my crimping shears, which are just funny little zigzag teeth that make a nice zigzag pattern. It helps prevent fraying of fabric. Do I still cut with them? Yes. Do they leave incredibly angry marks on my hand? Yes, because I'm cutting with my left hand and the scissors are not left-handed scissors. And there is a difference. There is a difference, especially with nice handed molded ones to help keep your hand from hurting. So I may take you up on that excuse, Aaron. Don't tempt me. I need to give it an attempt, but if it goes poorly, then yes, I will happily hide behind your skirts, Aaron. All right. Uh, but I think that's yeah. I got to keep working on grinding squares, and that's fine. I crochet more in the summer than I knit. Have we noticed this? I have to cast the Talia vest on because it's October vest. It only goes to the end of October. And it is my first cast on for the Craft Around the World. And I want to get started on that. And I'm going to attempt that brioche cast on. I know the stitches. I know what I'm doing. I just have to stop hesitating so much about it. So technically 2 cast-ons, a granny square, and I have to do that other front panel for the mallow this week. So I have a full-up week. And I got gifted a sock pattern to see if it was accessible or not, and I need to get that casted on and see how well I do with that. I have a free sock needle. I don't have yarn picked out for it, though. It's a lacy pattern. I need to go look through my sock yarn. So I don't know how we made it to the middle of the month, but here we are. Hopefully you guys are surviving the never-ending summer wherever you are, or enjoying a lovely fall if you have some fall weather. Super jealous. Super jealous. I would have loved it if it stayed cool like it was during the Manitoba Fiber Festival the first weekend in September. That would have been glorious. I really liked that. But we have not. I need to go refilm some videos. I need to do some edits. I need to eat lunch. I haven't managed that yet today. And I am sure you guys have things you need to do to wrap up your weekend. Hopefully everyone is healing if they are injured. And then, I don't even know how to phrase that. Hopefully your guys' work week goes well, whether you're working or you're a crafter or you're an indie designer, whatever it ends up being for you. As always, keep an eye out for other videos and stuff. I do like the shorter video concept. If you guys have ideas for videos for me, let me know, and I will absolutely take a look at that. I will very quickly fall into the pattern habit of just talking about what I'm working on. Because it's at hand and it's in my brain. It's at hand and it's in my brain. Otherwise, that's it. We're done. We're good. Oh, good. I'm glad Marvel's starting to feel better. Oh, Jude. It's a war of attrition with those tech goblins, and I'm going to win. I'm going to win. It may take me my whole freaking life, but I will get there. And there's small victories. There's always small victories. That's keeps me motivated. Though I do need to go argue with the mods for Stardew Valley because one of my mods is giving me grief. So it's fine. I'm used to it. I know what I've gotten myself into. The big trick is I need to switch to Linux before the end of the month because I want to be done the switch. So probably next Sunday after pod, I will do the official switch and I will transfer the last of the files. We'll get the computer. I will actually have my uncle, who's not an uncle, I'll ask him to come over and double check to make sure I haven't missed anything, because it's always good to have a second set of eyeballs for these sorts of things. So we'll be on Linux before you know it. We'll be on Linux before you know it. Could be interesting. Guys, we're going to say that this is the end. I'm going to say I'm Jocelyn. This is the Northern Knits Podcast. And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to craft.